Arsenal's metronome, Martín Zubimendi. Arsenal have chased control for 2 years, and Zubimendi is the calm heartbeat that makes it possible. He plays like a diagram come to life. Perfect distances, angles always open, press triggers anticipated before they happen. He won't trend for nutmegs. He'll trend because Arsenal suddenly look impossible to press. The knock-on effect is huge. Declan Rice can surge 5 meters higher without leaving a crater behind, and Arsenal can smother games on their terms, not the opponents. Spurs free artist Xavi Simons. Tottenham needed one thing post-Kane, a player who unlocks low blocks without turning the whole team into cross and hope. Xavi Simons is a solution wrapped in swagger. He can start wide and burst inside, drift into the number 10 pocket, or carry the ball 30 meters when the game jams. Give him runners and he'll feed them. Give him time and he'll needle through you. Spurs finally have a creator who scares teams before he's even on the ball. City's precision piece, Tijani Reinders. Pep doesn't buy headlines, he buys completeness. Reinders is a coach's dream, two-footed, vertical when the line is open, secure when it's not, and brave enough to take possession facing his own goal. Slot him as an advanced 8 or a controller in a double pivot and City's geometry snaps back into place. He won't replace legends, he'll reduce the number of moments you notice they're gone. Classic City. Chelsea's connector Joao Pedro. Chelsea have had talent stacked like cordwood. What they lacked was a connector in the final third. Someone who turns attacks from 5 isolated dribbles into one purposeful move. Joao Pedro is that link. He drops to combine, spins to attack space, and finishes with calm. The value isn't only his goals, it's the way he simplifies decisions for everyone around him. If Chelsea's young wingers start arriving onto passes instead of carrying into traffic, thank Joao Pedro. United's balance on the wing, Brian Mbeumo. Mbeumo is the least glamorous 75 million euros you'll ever see, and that's the point. United have craved a wide forward who runs selflessly, presses hard, and still produces. He hits the back post, he hits early crosses, he hits defensive lines with repeat sprints. Managers love him because he makes systems work. Strikers love him because he finds them early. United's right side just got pragmatic, predictable in the best way, and much harder to game plan against. United's chaos engine, Matheus Cunha. Cunha is football espresso, he jolts teams awake. One touch, he's a 9, pinning a center back. Next touch, he's a 10, feinting through 2 midfielders. The finishing can be streaky, but the pressure, the ball carrying, the ability to disrupt defensive shape, that travels. Put him next to a more linear striker, and he scrambles the picture for defenders. United haven't had this kind of off-script energy up front in years. United's spear point, Benjamin Sesko. If United's attack needed a North Star, Sesko is it. He offers verticality with a capital V, runs in behind, tough aerial presence, and a first touch that buys him separation. He doesn't need 10 touches to get a shot. He needs half a window. With Mbeumo's service and Cunha's gravity, Sesko gets the one-touch finishes he wants. If the supply line holds, the goals follow. Arsenal's wildcard, Victor Gyökeres. Arteta's team can become too polished. Gyökeres is the sand in the gears, in a good way. He presses like a midfielder, attacks near post spaces like a poacher, and drags center backs out of shape with heavy-duty runs. When opponents survive Arsenal's first and second patterns, Gyökeres gives them a third, brute force momentum. He's the guy who turns a sterile 0-0 into a 1-0 by sheer insistence. Arsenal's street ball surgeon, Eberechi Eze. There's calculated chaos, and then there's Eze. He glides, waits, and cuts at the exact moment defenders shift their weight. He can break a game open without breaking structure. A rare trick. Against compact blocks, Eze's pause and burst footwork creates the only kind of separation that matters. The half yard to shoot or slide a reverse pass. Adam Saka and Martinelli and fullbacks have to choose which fire to put out first. Newcastle's aerial playmaker, Nick Woltemade, profiles win games. At 6'6", Woltemade screams target man, then plays like a number 10 on the turn. He offers Newcastle an out ball that doesn't kill the move. Chest, set, spin, go. In a team that wants to press high and transition fast, that first contact is everything. He'll pin defenders on set pieces, sure, but it's the layoffs and angles that could make Newcastle's counters feel inevitable. Newcastle's direct threat, Anthony Elanga. Every squad needs a pure runner who stretches the field and punishes indecision. Ilanga does it on repeat. He takes aggressive starting positions, makes back post sprints, and gives the passer a vertical option every time he appears between lines. For a side that already attacks with power, he adds the simple, devastating option: ball played early into space, defender forced into a foot race he didn't want. Newcastle's rhythm breaker, Yohan Wissa. Wissa is a timing merchant. He's brilliant at ghosting to the far post, popping up late on cutbacks, and finishing before the keeper resets. For all the talk of data and structure, the Premier League still rewards players who sense chaos half a second earlier. Wissa feels those moments and cashes them in. Pair him with Woltemade's knockdowns, Ilanga's depth runs, and Newcastle's box presence multiplies. Spurs' two-sided knife, Mohamed Kudus. Kudus plays like he's powered by elastic. Strong through contact, explosive over 5 meters, and ruthless when he gets his hip across you. He can play from the right and crash inside, or sit underneath the striker and drive through gaps. For Tottenham, who've needed ball carrying through the middle third, Kudus is an accelerant. Add his out-of-nothing strike threat, and Spurs suddenly win games that used to drift to draws. Liverpool's left side accelerator, Milos Kerkez. Liverpool's best attacks have always flowed from aggressive fullback play. Kerkez fits that lineage. High starting position, fearless overlaps, and a first touch that points him toward the box, not the touchline. He widens the field without vacating connection zones. The payoff shows up subtly. Wingers receive facing forward. Midfielders hit diagonals into a runner who's already on their shoulder. It's a small signing that unlocks big patterns. Chelsea's wing revamp, Jamie Gittins. Chelsea needed clarity on the flanks. Gittins brings it. Direct carries, hard steps inside, and the willingness to attack the box early. He forces defensive lines to tilt, and that tilt creates the lane the number 9 wants. For a team that's often looked like 12 dribbles and no shot, Gittins turns possession into purpose. The output isn't just goals, it's the second balls and rebounds Chelsea haven't been winning. Chelsea's live wire outlet, Alejandro Garnacho. Few players flip field position like Garnacho. The first touch is aggressive, the second is gone, and by the third, he's asking a fullback a question he doesn't want to answer. In transition, he's a weapon. Against set defenses, he at least forces a second defender to commit. That gravity frees the connector between the lines. Exactly the guy Chelsea just signed. It's a complementary fit with obvious upsides. Liverpool's pressure valve Hugo Ekitike. Liverpool's attack now has every flavor, and Ekitike adds the one they needed. A tall, mobile forward who can press, drift, or pin. He's a problem for center backs because he doesn't give them a single duel to prepare for. Drop off and he turns, step high and he spins in behind. With service from either half space, he becomes the outlet that lets Liverpool sustain waves, not just flurries. Arsenal's late game unlock Noni Madueke. When games shrink, you need a dribbler who can still create a pocket of air. Maduike's left-footed slalom is built for those moments. He demands a double team at the corner of the box, and that double opens the cutback lane Arsenal script so well. He won't need volume, he'll need timing. As a change of pace option behind Saka, or as an overload creator with Eze, he's the card Arteta can play when control needs a jolt. Liverpool's new conductor Florian Wirtz. Systems need brains, and Wirtz is a supercomputer. He doesn't just see the spare man, he orbits into positions that make the spare man exist. Receive between lines, draw the 6, lay off, spin beyond. Repeat until the opponent forgets how to breathe. Pair him with runners who threaten every seam, and a striker who finishes first time. And Liverpool's attacks start to look pre-programmed. It's not just chance creation, it's inevitability manufacturing. Liverpool's statement at 9 Alexander Isak. And then there's the headline act. Isak brings grace to violence. He glides through contact, takes early touches that unbalance keepers, and finishes like he's choosing angles from a menu. He links mid-block combinations, then appears on the shoulder for the last touch. Surrounded by Wirtz's precision, Kerkez's width, and Ekitike's movement, Isak doesn't need 20 chances. He needs 2. That's the difference between chasing games and killing them.